It's Thoughtful Thursday.
Marvel, a minor issue. Marvel, what the fuck you doing to me? The comic book world is one thing, and then the movie industry is another. I get that. It seems really simple to me that the whole reason you're taking these comics and putting them into movies is because the comics are popular. They have ideas and concepts that aren't only proven, but have an audience installed. You make the movie because the people who read the comics are going to go see the movie. Plus, you're going to have people who go watch movies. Your movies. They're going to make you money. Why do you fuck with the script? Walking Dead did this. The Avengers did this, though they've done it better. DC's been doing it with Batman and Superman forever, it seems like. You have a decent script. You have a script that people are expecting, people like. There's some misconception in Hollywood that people don't want to see comic books turned into a movie. They want to see a movie based on a comic book hero. No, I want to see you make the comic into something I can watch. That's what I really want. That's what a lot of people want, and that's why every time a freaking movie comes out, there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people bitching that it doesn't line up with the comics anymore. And I think people are finally starting to get tired, and they don't say that as much. And then you have people who have read comics that are... So you got little kids growing up thinking Iron Man started in like 2004 or whatever it was during the Iraq War, whatever that conflict was supposed to be. When in reality, Tony Stark started up in like the 80s, I think. It was back when. Because if you look at the timeline for everything, they scooted a lot forward so that we could stay in modern times. Because that's when people are more interested. We go back to 1990 where people have giant cell phones, people start to lose track. But they've just been making changes and changes. And here's a rule, it works for programming too. It's always okay to add things. It's okay to change things as long as you compensate for the other events. It's never okay to delete things. Now, they cut off the beginning of the story and fast forwarded it. I was real nervous about that. They did for Iron Man, Captain America, the start of his modern story at least. So, I was nervous, but it worked out. And we've got the Avengers. So now we have this huge precedent saying that yes, we can change the things and it'll be okay, and we can do a multi-hero movie and it'll be fine. Thanks, Sweden. We're looking at all these other, 28 titles they've got lined up already? This is just in Marvel, not even talking about DC yet. You're breaking the story. Taking out Henry Pym is huge. Starting with the second Ant-Man is not the best plan, and you already have people bouncing on the script and leaving, and people not going with this on the industry side. Marvel, you need to take a look at what you started as, a comic, and realize it doesn't matter who owns what rights. Everything overlaps, and because someone made a stupid mistake on a legal conception, you need to work it out so that we can have one universe. Care what contracts you gotta make for what. When we finally progress to where Civil War is, we need to have decent things. You can't Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch everything. You can't do it. It was a mistake to even do that. And so that's just general beef I have with Marvel doing it. And then we have stupid things, because I understand it's a minority issue. We had the problem in Thor where people were bitching about Heimdall being black. There was the Asian Norse god. I don't remember that in any of the mythology. But to me, they were a black and Asian person playing a Nordic character, so that's what it was. But when we have movies as opposed to books and stories and plays, people want to take everything they see as what it is. Samuel L. Jackson makes a great Nick Fury. I'm not saying he doesn't, but Nick Fury should still be a white guy, because that's what it was conceptualized as. He has a character, background, all these things that you just delete and change when you change it up like that. Michael Clark Duncan was an excellent Kingpin. Kingpin's kind of an unrealistic character that you saw what they did with the Blob. When you make him a gritty from the streets guy as opposed to the upper white class guy he was supposed to be, it really changes the character. I'm not saying it's bad or good, but I'm saying it changes things. People complain about minority characters there not being enough. People complain about there not being enough minority characters. Women, black, Asian, what have you. Piggybacking and stealing all the work that a white character has done is not the way to do it, because it devalues that character. Because Thor is going to be a woman. That Thor is not who's popular. It's everyone that associates Thor with that guy, and I get Beta Ray Bill, and I get these other concepts that he doesn't have to be that guy, but Thor was a Norse god. He was the Odin's son. It changes things, and it doesn't help womankind of characters to piggyback on a guy. Let's make some new female characters. Let's make some new black characters. And I'm not racist at all. One of my favorite characters was Shadowhawk. He's a black guy who's essentially doing a Batman gig, but it was a much more realistic approach on a much lower budget, and dude was awesome. Spawn, there's ways to do it. Make the minority characters, bring them up on their own, have them achieve greatness on their own merit instead of piggybacking off someone else's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't help anybody. The only situation that's current at all is the Falcon Captain America thing, because it's really just, it looks like they're just giving Falcon a Captain America suit. I haven't caught up on all the story. If he gets super serum and his little wings, it's kind of a weird thing, because if they can extract it and they can pull it out, you think they'd be able to replicate it again, especially given modern day technology, because this was made in 1940. So why don't we have like leagues of super soldiers? After the Initiative fallout and the Dark Avengers run, so I want to catch up on that. There's so much building up in there that maybe I don't have a good conception of where the story's at for that, but again, we don't need to, it's just a headline chaser. Black Captain America, because it's going to make you look at it, it's going to make you analyze it, it's just get you your clicks. It's clickbaiting for comics. That's exactly what it is. And it doesn't do anybody any good for that. I'd much rather see Falcon go up and do his thing. Hell, I honestly would have rather seen Henry Pym get shot than Goliath back when, during Civil War, when Thor, or Cyborg Thor, went crazy. There are good ways and bad ways to do it, and I think we're in a lot of bad ways about it. Give She-Hulk, give Spider-Woman, give Miss Marvel their own movies. Before you're going to go and take out the biggest chick bait, which is Thor, because I don't see a lot of people getting hot over Iron Man, but you hear about everyone getting hot over Chris Hemsworth, especially as Thor. I don't know why you're going to do things that are going to stop bringing in people who don't normally watch that sort of thing, and then, or read that sort of thing even, and just hurt everything overall. It'll take 5 years for everyone to see it, but I'm telling you now, it's not a good thing that's happening. I'd much rather see some new minority characters come up and grow in their own right and really take off. By all means, let's kill Cap for real. I don't know how many times the guy's been shot and killed, but it's been a lot at this point. Spider-Man maybe can retire. There's a storyline for Spider-Girl where he actually loses a leg and retires. That could be a good way to go. Just Marvel, and you got Disney backing you up with dollars. Fix it. Do something that writes all this. Don't turn into Spider-Man where we're going to end up with like 9 different versions of 3 movies. Because that series I don't think is ever going to write itself. It's always going to be wrong because no one's doing what they have set in front of them, and everybody has a different opinion. So it's just going to be passed around until like, oh yeah, the 7th Spider-Man was good, but I really like the 5th. Anyways, I'm tired. I'm Kamurai, and those are some thoughts I thunk this Thursday.
If you want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations, and they'll take you to our other channels.